Hey everyone, welcome to Makeup Finance Friday on a Wednesday. It's been kind of crazy since the hurricane. I am definitely still praying for everybody in Florida. I have a guest today. We have a guest, Nova, on today's live. We're going to see how long this goes. Keep praying for everybody still struggling without power, keeping everybody safe. I know that is such a huge struggle. I know gas is still kind of an issue, so I'm still praying for everybody. And hi, John. I just want to make sure that even in this time of chaos, that I still at least get through to you guys that there might still be ways to find profit in the markets. And, you know, even with the market being high, I think this is super important to try to find different opportunities in the market. So I will be doing another Finance Friday on this Friday, so in 2 days, but I wanted to get this information out there because it might be too late. Can you hear me okay, John? Because I'm nervous about this microphone. It's really loud out here, but I got my husband working inside and Hope sleeping, so we're trying to improvise here. So anyway, I am so excited too for this Friday because it's our podcast launch, so it's a super appropriate for emergencies, because we actually, in the launch, there's an interview with our good friend Ed Kastner in Property and Casualty Insurance, and we also have a podcast, I think, that will be out next week, I think, on how to prepare for emergencies, because that's super important, obviously. Do you want to get out? Sorry, I'm a little distracted, so I'm going to do my best to... trying to be prepared for emergencies like this. Nobody wants to be playing catch up or digging out of a hole. If you just do a few things to get ahead of it, and we can go over a few of those things, but if you do a few things to get ahead of emergencies like this, I mean, look, life happens, things happen, so we just have to be prepared, right? So I found out in my homeowner's insurance that my lanai is not covered, so make sure your insurance policies are reviewed. I'll give you that really quick tip. All right, so trends in the market. Whenever there is, we'll call it a natural disaster, I don't know what else to call it, there's obviously sectors that do well, right? So you have energy, oil and gas might be something short-term. These are short-term plays, you know, and so depending on your risk and your suitability and what your overall goal is in investing, that may not be appropriate for you, but this is just overall trends that present themselves in the market when things happen. So energy, oil, so, you know, the big oil companies, and then rental car companies typically go kind of crazy in times like these, and airlines always have an excuse at earnings time when there's a lot of cancellations in flights. So when earnings come out, what do you want? Do you want a branch? You want a leaf or something? Yeah, that looks entertaining. So when the airlines report, they always have an excuse if they do underperform. So typically, if you were looking to get into an airline, this at least is a good time to be looking at those again, because no matter what happens at earnings season, they're always going to say the excuse of, well, there was Irma, well, there was Harvey, they had all these flight cancellations. So if they report under estimates, then that's always a good excuse for them. So be looking at the Dow Transports, anything in transportation. And, you know, again, short-term plays. And I mentioned in a couple of Finance Fridays ago that you can get in ETFs. There is different ETFs, so you may not have to pick individual equities. You could get in the whole sector. And then the other thing that I want to mention in times like these, to just rebalance your portfolio, look at your overall portfolio and see if you are already overweight in those kinds of sectors, and be aware that if you're in anything that was kind of a short-term play and it might be time to get out. So if you did have a lot of airlines, maybe this is time to kind of get out just in case earnings isn't great. Take your profits and then hop back in after earnings. So I think there's overall still things that you can do even in time of crisis. I know this isn't like the best time to talk about investments, but I just wanted you to be aware that there are trends out there. And then let's talk real quick about preparing for emergencies. So I know no one really does like to talk about it, but set aside money. I mean, I know that sounds like common sense, like set aside money for savings, but seriously, it is so easy to set up an automatic, just like your paycheck gets automatically direct deposited into an account. It's just as easy to set up an automatic transfer to a savings or an investment account to go ahead and make sure that it's just like a bill. It automatically gets transferred into an investment account or a savings account, and that way you'll just have a little cushion for when things like this come up. Also, I mentioned it before, but check your insurance policies, check your car insurance policies, check your homeowner's insurance policies to see if you have certain things covered. We have a gate. My gate was not covered. So things like that, you've got to make sure other structures is covered. If you've got a shed or something of that sort, that could be a possibility that you're not covered. And also in your flood insurance, see how much flood coverage you have, and contents. See how much contents you have. There's all these things that they don't tell you, when you buy the insurance. It just seems so basic. But have it looked at by someone. And if you don't have someone, contact us and we'll get you someone to go ahead and look over this stuff, because there could be huge holes in your insurance. And again, this is a lot more in detail without a baby next to me in the podcast. so be on the lookout for that. But we'll continue to do these Finance Fridays, and I'll again be more prepared this Friday too. I think this was kind of off the cuff. I announced it this morning, and Jim was supposed to be on it, but that didn't work out today. We're again trying to improvise. So I think this Friday I'll put out what we're going to talk about tomorrow night, and we'll get a little more specific, and I won't have kids with me. So hopefully this is short and sweet, and you got at least some little tidbits that helps you. But again, I'm going to keep praying for everybody in Florida, and I hope you guys are having at least the best time that you can. So thinking of you guys. Thanks.